One may not say precisely that what happened in Owo is actually a religious matter, because it has not been established to be a religious matter. But we know that we live in a society that is full of disorderliness. Actually, some of the disorderliness is not actually far-fetched in regard to religiosity, things that have to do with religious extremism. But the case of Deborah in Sokoto could be seen clearly as a religious matter. It is very clear because the people who perpetrated the act did not hide it. They made it clear that she had actually insulted the prophet. And I have personally heard some of the teachers of the Quran, or what I call them, the imams particularly, some of them, in Sokoto particularly, teaching that anybody who insulted Allah or Muhammad, the penalty is death. So when I heard about this act, I remember that teaching I saw on a video of a supposed religious teacher teaching people to kill in the name of religion. So when it happened, I was not actually surprised, because I was privileged to have had somebody teaching in that same Sokoto that if anybody insults Allah, the consequences is death. Now, the unfortunate experience here is this: there is no judgment. I am very sure that there is Sharia law, and the Sharia law provides that there should be judgment before any act should be taken. Now, there was no any sense of any judgment in that matter. I think that was where the whole thing becomes very bad. And even if there was to be Sharia law, was it going to be something that will affect even non-Muslims? So these are some of the questions that can actually come up. If somebody was judged outside his own faith, and this same person have law that guide his or her nation, I think it was completely wrong for such an act. It was complete extremism. And there are actually teachers who are also extremists, who are teaching these kind of things. And the government are supposed to caution them. But you know, the problem with the government is that the formation of government most of the time is even based on religion ground. Politicians, I have also heard this clearly from the imams, some of the imams teaching that no matter what will happen, a Muslim must be chosen to be a leader. You see, this is a sign of extremism. So when we are choosing leaders based on religious lines, we are drawing lines for religions in political appointment. There is already a great danger in this regard. So I want to say that one of the major problems is that where you have extremism, appointment itself is not based on either you are qualified to be in a position or not. It is now that you are a Muslim or a Christian, you are now being appointed to lead. And those who have been given appointment based on religious ground, of course, they want to do their work based on that which gave them the privilege of becoming leaders. Extremism have eaten deep into the land. That appointment of government officials from the beginning, I can assure you, some government officials come into power for the sake of religion, not for the sake of national development or national building. Nation building is not even the mind of some of our politicians. Some of them are like delegated to go for religious purposes, and they're portraying it. I wouldn't want to say much about this, but I can assure you, even at the national level, that some of our politicians, their ambition to become leaders was not to develop the land. I can assure you, because I have been privileged to listen to either radio programs or other programs that I have listened to, and the utterances of some of those people who become leaders show clearly that even when they have ambition of becoming leaders, it's not for nation development. They were going there with this feeling in their mind, they are going there to fight for their religion.
Okay, now.
And these are some of the things that are affecting their policies, their behaviors, their attitude. And we have had things like no military personnel should kill a Fulani person, for instance. We have had things like that. And we have seen it also happen. Because the government, we've also had people who have talked to us, even on air, that the leaders who are supposed to be either governors of states or local government chairmen are even the ones involved in this evil that we're experiencing. For the Christians, I want to say that we are doing our best, but the best is actually not enough. Because why the best is not enough is because we have shifted from discipleship. If the Christian actually go back into Christian discipleship, where the character of Christ is being taught and people are expected to live like Christ, we understand that the Christian is one who lives like Christ. The character of Christ must be seen. And if the Holy Spirit is in a man, the spirit of love will be there, peace will be there, joy will be there, self-control will be there. So somebody who is a true Christian can't be found doing anything evil. But at the other side, for the Muslims, when you check the Quran, generally you will discover some verses of the Quran that actually encourage them to do what they are doing. Sometimes we hear some other imam who might say that this is not true. But I have 2 Qurans. I have read the Quran. I've seen some of those verses. And when they say that these are just bad guys or people who are just practicing evil things, they are also having verses from the Quran they are holding on to. And now, but they are not supposed to actually look at what they believe as people and forget that there are other people who are not holding on to the same belief with them. So what I want to say here is that the imams that are actually standing on what is right should be able to rise to guide others, to encourage them. We also have Christians who are extremists who want to also look at some verses from the scriptures, cutting verses like Jesus said, if you don't have the sword, sell your clothes and buy. That is extremism, and it's encouraging war. So we have seen people actually killing, and we're shouting Allahu Akbar, and God is great in the cause of doing havoc. So religious organizations have not done enough. And the reason why they have not done enough is that they are misunderstanding the holy books. They are not actually interpreting the holy books appropriately. So that is affecting the whole thing. And the tension is already there. Hatred is already there because, like you've said, your brother has been killed, nothing has been done. A community has been wiped away, nothing has been done. Of course, one will start thinking about how to defend himself. And these are some of the things that are actually causing the tension and the trouble, that are even leading to issue of people agitating for disintegration. Because you can't live with somebody who is not ready to live with you. These are some of the reasons. And I think the government need to take proactive steps before it becomes late. Because the level we're already going is becoming so terrible.
When something like that happened recently in Nigeria, in Sokoto State in particular, even the ulama were divided on their opinions. So actually I'm not competent to speak about the Islamic standpoint on that. If we limit this matter of extremism to religion, or the killings to religion, we're underestimating the whole thing. People are being killed for no reason. Don't even talk about a Muslim killing a Christian, or a Christian killing a Muslim. Muslims are killing Muslims. Christians are killing Christians. In the southeast, Muslims are killing Muslims in the north here. So I don't think it is. If you limit it to that, you are confining the problem. We have a much wider problem at hand. People are being killed for no reason, for no offense, and government is not acting. That's the true position. We have lost the capacity to look at problems as national problems. We give them sectional or religious connotation all the time. That was the mistake we committed with the Boko Haram. When Boko Haram started, I think the nation was deliberately divided. The North was accusing the Jonathan administration that it was trying to underpopulate the North. And the Jonathan administration was accusing the North of trying to undermine his government. Until that thing got to a peak where it nearly consumed the whole nation. Even the people in Yobe State at that time thought it was only a Borno problem. But that thing consumed the entire North. You see, I have always suggested that Nigerians and our government should adopt the same approach we made during the outbreak of Ebola. If we remember, Jonathan and his administration did not do anything. It was the whole of Nigerians, Christians as Muslims, say, let's fight. This is a problem, national problem. They will say, take salt, take. In 1 week, I think even the international community awarded Jonathan, but he did not do anything. It was Nigerians that fought Ebola collectively. So you can see now, like I told you, every government of the day will blame its failure on the opposition, and they keep telling us it's the elites. Well, they ought to have gone beyond talking. If it's the elites, fit them out, expose them, punish them. You can't tell me it's the elite you can't keep telling me it's the elite for more than 10 years, but you've not done anything about it. We first of all have to redefine the concept of extremism. If we limit ourselves to thinking that extremism could only come in the context of religion, then we are losing it. With extremism, we have economic extremism, where a single person would steal from the treasury 80 billion. I mean, that is extreme. He should be seen as an extremist. He's a killer also. And where a politician is ready to wipe out an entire community for just to attain power, that is extremism. And most of these issues are coming up because politicians are manipulating the affairs. So I think first and foremost we have to anticipate and checkmate the maneuvers of the political extremists first, because it's the politician that will tell you don't vote Abdulaziz, he's a Muslim. You understand? It's the politician that I will come and tell my own people don't vote Chinedu, while we are supposed to be friends. Chinedu and Abdulaziz are not fighting. But I will tell my people in the village that Chinedu, he hates God, he hates this, he hates... and my people in the village who are uninformed would treat you as an enemy. So it's the political extremism that we would have to deal with first, and then the economic extremism, because they use the money to buy people's you understand. So when we change our attitude towards money, because I think, okay, people have been saying, okay, APC has failed, they will not vote, but I bet you, go to the polling stations and see what they give them money. Somebody will fight you because of APC. You see, so we have to change our attitude. Our religious leaders would have to begin to tell us the truth. I was told our Islamic scholars that instead of teaching about jihad, why not teach about neighborliness? I mean, that makes it easier, because if we stay peacefully, me and you, there will be no need for jihad, because I will not fight you, you will not fight me. So I think even the Christendom should begin to tell their congregation the truth. Most of these religious leaders are just serving their quests for followership. They can say anything to have a huge congregation. They are serving their quest for money. Most of them are being paid by politicians to interpret the scriptures to suit certain interests. So I think unless we remove that quest for fantastic wealth from our national thinking, we are really going to have problems. And like I told you, I don't think the clerics are not being sincere. All of them, from all of the religions, they're not sincere, honestly, because I don't think God will be the author of confusion. Shouldn't be. God should not create you a Christian because he wants me to kill you. God should not create me a Muslim because he wants to kill. And you see, I attended a debate where I told someone, he was a Christian, we were debating. I said, look, my brother, do you know you are Chinedu because you were born in a Christian house? Do you know I'm Abdulaziz because I was born in a Muslim house? If I were born in your house, I would be Chinedu. So why are you fighting over something you have no control over? You do understand? So I think first and foremost, like I used to say, we have to identify our humanity first. Our primary identity should be humanity. Religion is the secondary identity. So I think that is the most important thing. Humanity, let us revive our humanity. Because unless I accept you as a human being, I would not respect whatever you do. I think we have to rediscover our humanity. And that is, and the religious teachers and religious teachings are to blame here, because they are the custodians of morality.